Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Nerdpocalypse Podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
All right, guys, we are back. I got plenty to talk about, so let's get right into it. Checked out this week. I watched a little bit of Duster. This is the HBO Max or HBO or whatever the hell we're calling it now series starring Josh Holloway. Look, man, this is, Micah, this is right up your alley. Like, I don't know if you've watched any of this.
No, I want to. That's the show with Keith David, right?
Yes, Keith David, and that's exactly what I was going to mention, is the villain of this show. He's so good. Okay, so it takes place in 1972, right? So starring Josh Holloway, Rachel Hilson, and Keith David. So the idea is that Hilson, she plays the first black woman in the FBI as an active agent, right? And she was brought into the FBI basically under Hoover, who wanted to have more black FBI agents so they could basically infiltrate, black, separatist groups, right? Like that was his thing. But at this point, he has died, right? And so they're like, all right, well, we don't know what to do with you. And she's like, well, I want X, Y, Z assignment. And they're like, oh, you're black. You don't get to say nothing. Like, we don't want you here, type of shit. And they're like, but we have an opening in Arizona, and we're just going to fucking send your ass there because who gives a shit, right? Like, this is a case we can't crack, so you go over there. Like, fuck off. And so she's sent to Arizona. By the way, she's from Baltimore, incidentally. But she does not have a Baltimore accent, which is disappointing. And so she goes there, and she's like a by the book person, but she's like pretty tough, right? Because obviously she has to be a black woman in the FBI, so can imagine the layers of that in the 70s, right? And so she gets to the field office, and the person she meets is another young agent who is Navajo, and he's treated like shit because he's Navajo and it's 1972, and he's also in the FBI, right? Yeah. And he was like, yeah, they just think I'm Mexican. Like, they just treat this guy like dog shit. And so she's introduced to this major case that they've been trying to crack. Which is this crime boss played by Keith David. And he's got his fucking people that work for him, running drugs and shit like that. And one of his guys that works for him is Josh Holloway, who is a driver for him, right? And he basically goes around Arizona delivering drugs. And he drives this like fucking badass car. I don't remember exactly what type of car it is, but it's got Duster on it, right? And it's kind of like Dukes of Hazzard, but like less dumb and hillbilly. And she's trying to basically turn him to be like kind of an informant and like, come on her side, like undercover, right? And so that's kind of where the series is going. One, it's weird. Josh Holloway hasn't really aged any since Lost. I don't know if he's had plastic surgery, but like, it doesn't look like it, but it does look like it. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't look weird, but he looks like oddly like he just hasn't aged. And it may be because he just kind of shaved, but I don't know. He looks fucking the exact same as he did in Lost. It's really weird.
No, I see what you mean. He's had plastic surgery.
Like, it looks like an AI drawing, right? Like it's a little too clean.
Yeah,
right?
It's a little too clean, but like he's got lines. He's got age lines, but like everywhere else is just like overly polished.
Right. It's like this guy's been photoshopped in real time. Like,
yeah.
So, but at the same time, like he's got that same level of charm. By the way, that guy's career got fucked, and I don't know why. Like he's a really fun actor to watch. Actually, I'm surprised that he didn't have a huge career after Lost. But again, I guess nobody really did. But. So he's kind of a fun actor to watch, and sort of his interaction with Rachel Hilson's character is good. Keith David is having a fucking time. Okay, a 1970s villain, like over the top. Like the show opens where he's got to like, Josh Holloway's character has got to like grab a package and bring it to the house of Keith David, and he's being chased around by like these other bad guys or whatever, and he kind of like loses them because he's like a great driver or what have you. And it turns out the package is a heart because like the son of Keith David or something like that needs open heart surgery, and of course they can't take him to a hospital because he's a criminal, and so he's got to like deliver the heart. Like it's ridiculous, but also it's a lot of fun. So yeah, Duster's a good time. Like it's not. You could kind of take your brain and just sit it in the seat next to you. You don't have to think that hard, but it's not completely stupid, but it's pretty fun. And it's got one of the best show openers I've seen in a while.
Are these like hour-long episodes?
I believe so. Something like that. 45 minutes?
Yeah, 45 minutes. All right.
Yeah.
Because me and the wife been looking for something to watch. So I might throw this in the ring. Usually I get vetoed. And we'll have to watch something like 9 Perfect Strangers or some shit.
Yeah, this one is, and this is done by J.J. Abrams as well. And, like when it comes to TV, I feel like J.J. Abrams is really, really good at like kind of producing some pretty fun television. When it gets to movies, sometimes it's like, what are we doing exactly?
Yeah, his movies tend to feel like hour-and-a-half TV shows.
Yeah, largely. I mean, weirdly, that's why the first Star Trek really worked. Right? Because you're like, well, it's like a TV show. It's like, yeah, well, it's based on a TV show, so yes. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. So it's got 8 seasons this first season. The first 5 are out. So, it's week to week. So it's a fun watch. Right. I mean, I haven't found it to be like, oh my God, it's appointment television type shit, but it's a fun watch.
Right.
Next up, CRISPR, we're going to do a science and tech story. We haven't done those in a while. CRISPR, for folks who don't know, is basically a gene editing device or method. And basically, they've been using CRISPR to do a lot of really cool shit over the last couple of years. And if you're not keeping up with that, like they've done it to, add certain genes in to, people do it for like DNA hacking type of shit. Like, oh, you can make your skin glow at night and shit like that. You can do like wacky shit like that. But they've done some actually pretty interesting stuff too.
To a lizard.
Right, exactly. Do something cool, like make yourself into a dinosaur. But CRISPR's also doing like real shit. And they've used CRISPR now to remove extra chromosomes in Down syndrome and restore cell function. So, obviously people who have Down syndrome are born with extra chromosomes, which obviously leads to a lot of health issues and what have you. But with CRISPR, they've been able to go in to, I guess, the DNA of someone, extracting the DNA of someone with Down syndrome and pulling out these particular extra chromosomes and then restoring cell function. So potentially in the future, you could just solve Down syndrome. Like if you get the, amniocentesis tests when a woman is pregnant to see if the likelihood of your child having Downs, they could potentially just go in and be like, you're good. Don't worry about it, which is amazing. But that does enter into an ethical question, right? Just because you can, does that mean you should? Right?
Yeah, I'm in the camp that people should do whatever they feel they need to do.
Bounds of reason.
Within the bounds of the law, right? Whatever.
What even is the law anymore?
Right. We had the option of, our children were conceived via IVF.
Right.
And we had the option to genetically modify certain traits, right? We had the option to influence whether or not we wanted a boy or a girl.
That's wild that that's available now. Like, because that felt like some science fiction like 20 years ago. Like, sure, we'll be able to do it. Like, nah, yeah, they can do that now.
They can do it. We didn't do that. We just, whatever happens. We're going to love the child no matter what. They also said, okay, well, you also have the option to like influence eye color. Like if you want your child to have like light eyes,
I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like because like that's just a hop, skip, and a jump of like, do you want your kid to be lighter or darker? I don't like that.
Yeah, it's kind of odd, man. It's kind of odd when you sit there. It's like, no, we don't want none of that, yo. Like we give me the regular, right?
Yeah,
I want the regular. I don't need extra crispy. right? I don't need.
I don't. Yo, that really bothers me. Yo, I didn't know that. Yo, that's really like I want my baby to look like Michael Ealy. Like, nah, yo.
Right.
Your kid got shit brown eyes just like you. Shut up.
Right. Like but technology is wild, yo. It's wild. Like you sent me this Instagram post earlier today about whether or not you would use the Star Trek like transporter device.
Right.
And how it works is like they don't just teleport you, right? Like you essentially have your molecule, you are deconstructed down to the atom and then reconstructed on, whatever planet or whatever you want to be there. You essentially die and then come back to life, right?
A copy of you.
And a copy of you comes back to life, right? It's not technically you, but it's the copy of you with all of your memories and all of that, right? Like that's how they explain how the transporters work. And you're like, okay, that's not me though, but is it? It is, but it's not. Right?
It's a conundrum, right? Because
it is.
Because at the same time, like, you dead. Who cares? You just get to live on, but do you though? Like, it's really weird. Right. Like, it does pose a bizarre sort of moral question.
And the really interesting, Star Trek was way ahead of its time, right? The really interesting thing is that McCoy, the medical doctor, does not like using that thing. He's like, nah, I don't want to do it. Right? Like he isn't like the medical doctors in Star Trek don't like using the transporter because of the ethics involved. Right? Like it's super interesting, man. Like
but yet Spock used it all the time and he's hyper logical. Right? Vulcans are hyper logical and they're just like, yeah, just kill me. Who gives a shit?
Right. But that's the thing though, right? Like that's the flaw with the Vulcan, right? Which is why Spock is the chosen one or whatever, because he's half human and half Vulcan. All these dudes, especially these manosphere dudes, they're like, everything's got to be based in logic. Look, everything's got to be logical. Women are illogical, bro. Logic, right? No, you need a balance, guys.
You have to. You're a human being. Not a robot.
Otherwise, you're a fucking robot, right? Yeah. Like you are not human, and that's why Spock was unique in that he had those human emotions based in like logic.
But also he used a transporter, so it's like, what the fuck, bro? like he's just like, I don't know. I gotta get down there. I'm not taking a shuttle. It takes forever. Right. Also, Captain Kirk, of course he uses it. He can't wait to plant his seed, spread his seed all over the fucking universe. He's like, hell yeah. Make 10. How many green chicks do I get to bang from other planets? This is awesome.
How many of me gets to bang?
Yeah.
How many?
Do I remember all of that? Excellent. Right. Who cares? This is awesome. So yeah, it's an interesting moral conundrum. But this is too, right? Because there are plenty of people who have children who have Downs, and they love them very much. And you would ask them, I'm sure if you ask them, would you change this? They would say no, because that's their child, right? But at the same time, there's a lot that comes with having a child who has Downs, right? And I don't think to me, and I'll just say this, there is no right answer, right? There is no overall right answer. I think there is, because at the same time, I'm sure the hyperlogical person would say, well, of course you would use this and get rid of it and make a stronger society. And I'm like, that's what they did in 300, where they just threw people who had issues. They just threw them into a fucking pit to die. I'm like, and this makes everyone more perfect and everything else. It's like, I mean, isn't that kind of like a bit of eugenics?
Also, it's kind of the mentality that the Nazis had.
Yeah, it's eugenics. It's fucking eugenics. And you're just like, So I don't think I think the right answer is what you said, which is whatever is right for you, right? Because I don't think it's fair to be like, here's this option to avoid this, and it's like, no, you're gonna have this life where, and being the parent of a person with Down syndrome cannot be easy. Okay. Because one of the things about being a parent is like, you get to be a parent and you get to watch your child go off into the world and you get to be like, over here. Like you go and live your life. And you know that when you pass away, that they can, live their full function lives and everything else. But that's really scary if you're an older adult who has a kid with Down syndrome. Like, who's going to take care of my child, right? So if they are on the farthest end of the spectrums, right? So I understand that. There's no easy answer here. Like, it's not CRISPR fixed it, we're good, right? Like, yeah. Because you can live quite a lovely, beautiful life with a child who has Downs, right? Like, you can live a very full life with them. Now, something like spina bifida or something like that, where your kids can't function and stuff like that, to me, those are very different questions. But again, not easy. It's still not easy. So,
yeah.
There you go. You fixed it and you created 35,000 more questions. Science is bad, is what you should take away from this.
Unless it's not, and then it's great. Yeah,
unless you're ripping yourself apart to go from a spaceship to Clendathu or wherever the fuck you're going.
Yeah, the problem is people want to use CRISPR because they played BioShock and they want to shoot like lightning out of their hands or some shit, right?
Yeah, that's why I want to use it too. What the fuck?
People want to use CRISPR to give themselves, to turn themselves into X-Men.
Look, CRISPR, cool, whatever. Look, let's just get to the Cyberpunk 2077 shit. Like, that's what I want. That's what I want. Like, give me some fucking. I want to wake up in the morning, have my cup of coffee, set up my loadout before I go out into the world. Right? Like, God, I don't think that's hard. I don't think that's an irresponsible stance. All right, let's talk topics this week. Starting out with a doozy.
Yeah, everyone's favorite rags to riches story. Tyler Perry has been accused of sexual assault.
By a woman? Is it a woman? Surely it's a woman, right?
The answer may surprise you, or it may not. U.S. film and TV giant Tyler Perry has been sued for $260 million by an actor who has accused the mogul of sexually assaulting him while working on one of his TV shows. Derek Dixon has filed a lawsuit in Los Angeles accusing Perry of using his influence in the entertainment industry to create a coercive, sexually exploitative dynamic, which while he was acting on The Oval. And Ruthless. I don't even heard of Ruthless. He alleges that Perry promised him a successful acting career, but then subjected him to, quote, escalating sexual harassment, assault, and battery, and professional retaliation when he didn't reciprocate Perry's unwanted advances. Perry's lawyer denies the allegations and calls it a scam to make money. Look, this will be very interesting. I don't want to believe that, people are still out here doing this. But at the same time, I don't trust anybody, especially people with money. It is, this is quite the sticky wicket, as one would say.
Here's the thing. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know if he's telling the truth, and neither do any of you. The least surprising thing of all time is that Tyler Perry is sued for sexual harassment by a dude. I'm sorry. If that surprises you, I'm surprised that you're surprised. Okay, I'm surprised it took as long as it did. Because he seems like a very closeted man, or bi, or what have you, right? I don't care about his sexual orientation, his proclivities. I don't give a shit about any of it. Here's what I do care about. Don't harass people. Like that's it. Like don't use your power in order to try to crush somebody's career and shit like that. I think that's fucked up. I think it's wrong. It's like whatever that basketball player's name was who was like sexually harassing some dude, and they were just like, he's gay, and that was a headline. I was like, I think it's more of the abuse and the sexual harassment that's kind of the bigger issue. I think we're kind of burying the lead here because we're obsessed with people's their sex lives. So I don't really care about whether or not he's gay or bi or not. He's straight, whatever. I don't give a shit about that. I care that he's a billionaire and potentially using his power to crush people. I care about that because I don't trust billionaires. I don't trust billionaires more than I don't trust anybody else. That is ballot number one. I have $1 billion. I don't trust you. You're gonna have to confirm for me that you're not a piece of shit. So
this is very interesting. Terrence, messaged us. He was like, "Look, this guy's going to get eaten up in court. Like,
probably.
If this dude's got to have like the gun it can't be smoking. Like the barrel still has to be warm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
he's a billionaire, you gotta have proof, nigga. Like a lot.
Right. And like the normal audacity that the average white person has is not overshadowing $1 billion. I don't care who has it. You know what I mean? Like, so if this guy has proof, this will be very interesting. What else would be interesting is the response that the Tyler Perry faithful have towards this. I would suspect that the initial response is, you're trying to take a black man down, right? Like, and I get it, but hypothetically, if this is proven true, I have no idea how they will respond.
If it's proven true, I think you're going to see a decent loss of his core audience for a minute.
They'll come back. We always forgive, man.
We forgive. We always forgive. Here's the thing. I put Tyler Perry's like hardcore audience in the same camp as I put Republicans who are okay with Lindsey Graham being a senator. Right? Lindsey Graham is the gayest man in the fucking Senate. It is the most obvious thing in the world. There is no question, right? They say, "Oh, why didn't you get married?" He's like, "I'm just too busy." Like, knock it off, okay?
Bachelor for life,
right? Like, it's like it's the world's worst open secret, right? Republicans, we hate gay people. What about Lindsey Graham? He's just a single man working hard in the Senate. Look, you don't even believe that. Like, your heart ain't even in it, right? But he is a means to what they want, right? Which is power and stuff like that. I think the vast majority of people know. Like, of his hardcore fan base, I think the vast majority of them go, he's either gay or he's bi. And even if they have like a religious problem with it, because that is where that issue exists for them, I think they just go, well, he's making stuff for black people, and I like that. And to me, I'm not mad at you just like being like, I don't really care. I just wish you would stop hating gay people in general. It's odd to me. So I think that they will justify it. I think they will just be like, I never seen him do it, which is like a weird stance, right? Like that'll be the stance of like, well, I ain't never seen him do it. Right? Okay, well then I guess that's where we are. I just don't trust you because you're a billionaire. That's it. And I think for me, this isn't, but for other people, this is not my last straw for with him. So yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. You don't necessarily have any acrimony towards him, but at the same time,
word means. Nobody did before that movie came out. No one knew. No, I like, it's. I don't know.
It's quite, if he is accused, if it is found to be true, it will be quite a fall from grace.
There you go. Thank you.
All right.
I was trying to pull up the names of his movies and see if I could work in how stupid these titles are into this ridiculous conversation. Yeah, I mean, we don't want Medea to go to jail. I don't know. And
He got
look for
another Medea movie coming out. And my
is it
lovely
for
wife,
colored girls or other people can watch it as well?
and my lovely wife said, "This actually looks good." And I'm like,
well, this is it.
"Fuck."
Well, she should be nobody's fool. You know what? If she makes you watch that movie, perhaps you could get Divorce in the Black. I don't know. And then she can apologize and have a mea culpa, because that's not how they pronounced it in the movie. Anyway, so look, it's fine. I we'll see where.
No, it's not fine, but we will see.
Yeah, no, yes, the acts, the behaviors are not okay. No, I agree. I guess for me, to be quite honest, I think one of the things that will influence is that people likely are not talking about. What happens with Diddy will influence it. Because the Diddy case, while like they seem to have that motherfucker dead to rights, it will be very interesting to see if this very rich and powerful black man actually pays the consequences for what he does. And I think if that happens, that will influence it one way or the other. I don't know. Also, coming out and suing for $260 million, it does feel like you're trying to just get money. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. Like that number is just crazy high. It's just
number is astronomical, bro. Like how do you
$250 million?
Yeah. You're doing that for what? Potential lost wages? Like,
who are you? I never even heard of you.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I wouldn't look, nothing surprises me at this point. If this dude is out here scamming, I would not be surprised.
No, not at all.
If Tyler Perry is out here, throwing his weight around, I would not be surprised.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess, to just put a fucking button on it, like, nobody is worth your sort of like hard line, like they just couldn't have possibly done it. Like Tyler Perry quite easily could just come out and be like, I can do bad all by myself. He doesn't need you. He doesn't need you, guys. So yeah, there you go. This is the least surprising story I've ever heard. Tyler Perry is not a good person. Really shocking. He's a billionaire. Yeah. If you're gonna sue, by the way, in any of this shit, 10 million, just coming in at like 10 million. 260 people go, yeah, all right, this guy's just trying to get rich. Like 10 million is a good, that's a good number, man. It's a nice even number. Knock it off. All right.
All I know is if we have to watch this movie, there's going to be more than a jazz man's blues in the House of Pain. I don't know. All right.
We're out of ideas. We're done. We're done. Oh, God damn it. More than the jazz man's blues. That's stupid. Speaking of stupid,
look, Nicholas.
Hold, because I need to cue up this story. Just I need to tee it up just a little bit.
Yes,
Demetrius, you have every right to be angry at the following story. There are not many people on the planet who have the absolute justifiable right to be as angry as you are when you saw this image. I'm sure you have seen it. We are here to tell you, you are 100% well within your right to crash out, as young people say. Please continue.
Nicholas Galantzine has revealed his He-Man muscles in Masters of the Universe sneak peek. Look, there's a first look of Nicholas Galantzine as He-Man. And it is a backlit silhouette shot of his back facing the camera. This is a terrible, terrible shot. It is not. I know for a fact that Demetrius did see this.
I know
because he posted side by side comparisons and
of himself
in his He-Man outfit.
Oh fuck!
Next to this, and he's wider, bro. Like he's wider. Like he's wider. Look, I have no doubt that this dude Nicholas Galantzine is training very, very hard and is probably getting in the best shape of his life to play this role. But I don't know, man. When it comes to a character like He-Man, He-Man looks like a bodybuilder, yo. Like he looks like he's on the sauce. He looks like he's juiced to the gills, right? Like he's gigantic, right? He looks like the mountain from Game of Thrones, right?
Right.
And this is the Masters of the Universe is not a property that needs to be in live action, bro. It's just not.
All right. Hold on a second, because I'm trying to like I'm trying to pull this. I'm pulling up this image. Okay, I'm gonna put this image up for people who haven't seen it. This your boy? Like this it? This is it? Like, come on, also, man, like, for real? Like this looks terrible, dude. This looks terrible.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Look, I'm not a Masters of the Universe fan, so take my opinion, however you want to take it. But it just seems kind of whack. First of all, if you're gonna post it, like you got to do a little more than just like. Remember when they did that first look of David Cornsweet as Superman?
Yeah.
Where he was putting his boots on and get ready to go to work.
Right.
That was within like a scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a real scene from the movie, apparently.
It's a real scene. Whereas this is just like, that's what they should have did with this, right? If you want to do a proper first look, you gotta kind of put it like in the scene, not just like as a photo shoot.
Hey, here's the thing. I think you could have gotten away with this if he didn't look so small, right? Like if this was like super jacked, fucking like big dude, you're like, oh shit, like that's He-Man. But like, also you could play taken like, really far away.
You could play with angles, right? Yeah, exactly. Like if it wasn't like, it looks like it was taken off of a phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and quite literally.
If you kind of play with angles, right, and you can make people look bigger than they are, right? Robert Downey Jr. is like 4'11", right? Like he's a tiny person, but they made him look like a grown up, right? Those Lord of the Rings movies made people look like hobbits and right. Giants. Like you could play with angles, right? They didn't really do that with this. They just kind of like, hey, go stand back there and we're going to tease people. Right? Like, yeah, this is not a good first look. It's not a good first look.
No. And again, He-Man is supposed to be enormous, right? Like his back should be 85% of that image, right? Like just a fucking huge person with the goddamn sword. I would have even been more excited if they just showed like a better shot, but like a zoomed in image of just his back with the like his hand on the sword, right? Because like the sword is like it's kind of the thing, right? Like that's what you know, and just like him in the costume with the fucking sword, and it's just more zoomed in. Like, oh shit, all right, because you could Photoshop it up. Like, look, he's got back muscles, I guess, right? Like this is a terrible way to introduce this character. Like this is, and look, he might look super fucking jacked in the movie and you're like, oh shit, like this totally worked. But this ain't it. Like if you're trying to hype people up to expectations, this is a terrible way to do this. But he just looks small to me. And again, it could be taken too far away, but he just looks small.
He also,
he's bigger than me, granted. But he just looks small.
You need to, right. I mean, look, what the fuck? Like he's bigger than me. He's bigger than I'll ever be, right? Especially at this point in my life, right? But there's a certain expectation that you kind of have. Also, you can play around with like the outfit, right? Like he's got that like, I don't know what you call it, the harness. Leather. You can make you can actually make the harness look, you make him wear a smaller harness to make him look bigger, right? Yeah. Same reason why people wear schmediums, right? Yeah. Like to make themselves look, bigger and to fill out a suit a little more. I'm very curious to see what he looks like in context. Because like he's got these training videos out.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And like he's not a small dude, yo.
No.
But this is just a really bad first image. I hope for the sake of the Masters of the Universe fans out there, one, I hope they're happy with it. And two, I hope that I hope that this is a little more. I hope they kind of retool it, you know.
Yeah, this might be a Sonic situation where they just like,
yeah,
we got to go in a completely different direction. But I just think it's a bad way to sort of introduce this character. Like, I don't know what you're doing, but this ain't it. Like this is not it. So try again. So shout out to Demetrius again. You have every right to be upset by this. You do,
especially looking at like older images of this guy. Like he is putting in work. He is.
No, he got significantly larger. He did.
Yeah, he got significantly larger. But I don't know, man. This He-Man is such an exaggerated looking character that they had to get Dolph Lundgren to play He-Man. You know what I mean?
Right. Who was a gigantic person. So we'll see. Look,
yeah.
As of right now, not exactly bullish on this franchise. I gotta tell you, not exactly. Unfortunately,
Tom Rhys-Harris lands Clayface role in DC Studios movie directed by James Watkins. The actor from the Uma Thurman starring Apple TV series Suspicion, which was not a good show, and such movies as Umberto Pasolini's The Return, and the Gerard Butler action title Kandahar, and Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman landed the role. What a weird sentence that is, by the way. It's just a weird sentence. Landed the role from a competitive list of British thespians that included 28 Years Later's Jack O'Connell and The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, Tom Blythe, and 1917's George Mackay. The movie from Speak No Evil director James Watkins is the next big project for James Gunn and Peter Safran's DC Studios after next summer's Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which I think they are changing the title to just Supergirl.
Yeah, I believe they are.
Which is scheduled for release September 11th, 2026. Clayface will be shooting at Warner Brothers Leavesden Studio in the UK. All right, look.
This is written by Mike Flanagan, for folks who are unaware of that.
Look, Clayface is a very interesting character. You can go a number of different ways. I guess the Clayface that was in that show, Creature Commandos, is not this guy. I can't remember what happened to Clayface in that, but
he died.
I thought he died.
Yeah.
Clayface is an interesting character. He's one of those characters that can be written in a way that is incredibly tragic or just, a goofy villain, right? Like,
yeah.
At one point, look, all my Clayface knowledge comes from that cartoon show, right? So, and at one point in that cartoon, Batman the Animated Series, he had like another personality that spawned as a child, and that was his quote unquote daughter. And yeah, it was kind of weird, man. So I'm very curious to see how they do this. I think from what I can remember from that latest Batman Tim Story show, what was it called? The Batman that like took place like in the 40s.
Oh yeah. Cape Crusader.
Cape Crusader. I like that version of Clayface. I'm curious if they will kind of lean into that. But yeah. All right. Clayface. This is a weird rollout for this for this studio.
Yeah, no, I think that this is kind of from my understanding, this is kind of its own thing, right? Like they're just kind of doing a sort of a one-off story. But Mike Flanagan wrote this. And you may know Mike Flanagan from all of the adaptations he's done of Stephen King books, right? Gerald's Game, Dr. Sleep, a number of them, right? apparently his draft of this, they're like Gunn was interviewed and they're like, well, how much difference is it between Flanagan's original script and what you have now? And Gunn was like, pretty much not a lot. Like it's just like little tinkering here and there, but like all of the major like big core of the story, all of that is all pretty much as Flanagan wrote it. And he was like, look, I'm a huge Mike Flanagan fan. So he's like, no, not really changing much of anything of it. So he said it's an excellent body horror film and it will be rated R. So they're not going with goofball Clayface. This is going to be like tragic and fucked up and like I feel very weird about being in the theater right now version of Clayface, which is cool. Good. I mean, I think Clayface is an interesting character to do some really fun shit with. And I think Mike Flanagan, and I mean this with the most respect, is a fucked up individual and a perfect person to do this. So yeah, I mean that guy nails horror movies and seemingly nails adaptations of horror books, like without fucking question. Everybody is like, oh, is there a new Stephen King book you want to adapt? Cool, call Mike Flanagan, and that's just all he wants to do. I mean, they called Gerald's Game an unfilmable adaptation when that was announced, and then people were like, "Nah." Well, turns out
he did it.
He did that shit. And I really liked Gerald's Game. It was fucked up, but I enjoyed it. So, all right, cool. I'm down for this. Sounds good. All right, next up, Mindhunters, the show that has always been leaning on the edge of is it coming back or is it not? According to Holt McCallney, who is one of the co-stars of the show, he said that he spoke with David Fincher a couple of months ago, and Fincher was like, well, we don't, if it is going to come back, it's not going to come back as a series because they just didn't have the numbers for it. But they'd like to do some movies instead. So never know. But somebody is working on a script right now, and if Fincher is happy with it, they're going to go for it. That's the talk. So look, if you've never seen Mindhunters on Netflix, you should watch those 2 seasons. It's about basically 2 FBI agents going after very famous serial killers in the 1970s. It's fucking great. It was just really, really, really good. So do yourself a favor and check that out. So unfortunately, it ended after the season 2, just because, again, like Fincher said, they just didn't have the numbers. So
I guess it sucked then, huh?
I guess so. That's how it works, right? Money dictates quality. Everybody knows that. Next up, Orlando Bloom teases talk about Disney making more Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Speaking of money over quality. So Disney and producer Jerry Bruckheimer appear to be exploring 2 distinct creative avenues for the Pirates series. One is a full reboot, written by screenwriter Jeff Nathanson, who did Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Okay. And Dead Man Tells No Tales, which apparently was the last Pirates movie. I did not see it. That would feature an entirely new cast, while the other is a spin-off centered around a female lead, potentially starring Margot Robbie from Barbie and Suicide Squad and everything else, and Christina Hodson, who did Bumblebee and The Flash, are working on that script. Okay, Bumblebee good, The Flash not good. So okay, these are not good signs. However, Will Turner actor Orlando Bloom is hinting at a potential third option, the continuation of the franchise with the original stars, including Keira Knightley and Johnny Depp and himself. Didn't Johnny Depp say, like, I'll never work for Disney again after they booted him from the franchise because of the whole him and Amber Heard thing? I distinctly recall him saying that. But then again, $20 million is a lot of money to get rolled up to.
Yeah, CM Punk implied that he would never go to Saudi Arabia, and he's going to Saudi Arabia next week. So,
money is a lot.
Money has a way of changing people's minds.
Yeah. You want more of these movies?
No, I don't. No, you don't even have to finish the sentence. No, I don't. I saw the first one. I thought it was cute. I liked the music. What was the one with the guy with the squid for a beard?
I think that's is that the second one?
I don't know. I don't know, but I saw that one, and I'm not a pirate guy, man. Like if it's pirates versus ninjas, I'm ninjas all the way, right? Like I'm just not.
Classic
I'm not a
weeb.
pirate guy. Yeah, man. Look, pirates are whack, yo. Pirates are whack. They're dirty. Something about being on a ship for long periods of time just don't sit right in my soul, man. Like
A bunch of dudes.
it just don't, something about,
I get it.
it just, I don't know. It just, there's a middle passage thing going on. I can't not like disconnect the two. Yeah, I can't. Plus boats are a horribly inefficient way to travel. It stinks. They stink, right? I can't swim, right?
That's what it really comes. This is what it really comes down to.
I mean, look, it is what it is, man. Like pirates do nothing for me, man. Pirates do nothing for me. They walk around with birds on their arms and shit. I don't like animals, right? Like pirates do nothing for me. You know what ninjas do? They stalk people in the shadows. They're lurkers, right? They're lurkers like me. They're all black. I mean, they dress in black. I am black. Like I'm into that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Stabbing people in the back. I'm into that.
I'm trying to sword fight. Get out of here. Look, here's my thing. I like the first one. I like the second movie. The third movie had a sequence in which Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley were getting married on a pirate ship while a whole battle was going on. They were like, you're the ship's captain. You can marry us. And they're like, there's a pirate battle going on. There's like, but we want to get married now. And so there's like explosions. And I think it's Stellan Skarsgård is the captain or whatever. I'm like, why is Luthen there? He has better things to do. And it was just really weird. And I was like, like that moment in a movie or any life situation where you go, yeah, this is it. This is the part where I'm like, I'm out. And like that scene, I was like, I'm out for this whole franchise. Like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. And it looks dumb and it feels dumb. And I feel dumb for being here and being involved in it. And that was it for me. And I didn't see the third one or whatever, the fourth one or whatever the fuck, and the fifth one. I don't even know how many there are now. I don't even give a shit. But I do recognize this. You can't make these without Johnny Depp.
There are 5 of these movies, by the way.
Yeah, I think I've seen 3 of them. Actually, I know I've seen 3. I've definitely not seen 4 or 5. But you can't make this franchise without Depp. Like, you just can't. He is the thing that people go to see. He's fun as hell to watch in these. And he's having a blast.
I'm looking at all 5 posters. He is front and center on all of them.
You goddamn right he is. You goddamn right he is. Because even in the first movie, I don't know that I had really seen much in the ways of like trailers and things. I got kind of dragged with my ex. Was like, oh, let's go see this movie. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. And I don't think I even realized Johnny Depp was in the movie. And then he shows up, and I was like, this character's fucking hilarious. Like, all right, this is pretty good. I'm enjoying this. And he stole the show, and then he stole the show in every other movie. And then it got to the wedding scene in the third one, and I was like, go fuck yourself. Like, who cares? And they were like, oh, we're going to have adventures of Will Turner and whoever Keira Knightley's character is. And I was like, I don't care about that. Like, they just got married on a pirate boat. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? And like, no, it's fine. Good for you. I hope you guys have a great time. If you don't have Jack Sparrow in this movie, it's going to fucking tank. You're going to spend a lot of money and it's going to tank. People like him and they want to see him in this movie.
The only way I think that this could work is I think it could work just off of name recognition. I think
for who?
I think you have to. No, name recognition for the Pirates brand recognition. Right?
Okay.
I think it could work. You need a clean slate. You can't completely. Yeah, you can't tie anything to the past, because the second you tie something to the past, like you said, people are going to say, "Where's Jack Sparrow?"
Yeah,
you gotta gotta go, everything brand new, and you gotta make a new Jack Sparrow, not a new Jack Sparrow character. You gotta have a new like mascot character, basically.
Right. Okay, I get that. I was gonna say, yeah, you can't. You definitely can't have like someone playing him. No.
Yeah, no, you can't have somebody doing a Johnny Depp impression of a Keith Richards impression.
You're right. Exactly. So, all right, that's cool. I don't care. I just do not give a fuck about this franchise at all. I don't think a lot of people do, to be honest. I think that has largely died, but we'll see.
Yeah,
I thought Avatar was largely dead too, and that made like $2 trillion or whatever the fuck.
I don't like that series either, man. I
haven't seen the second one.
I don't like the look of the Na'vi, man. I don't. They look like blue cat people, and it just turns me off. I can't look at them.
I will not. I can't. I refuse. Next up, Superman star Rachel Brosnahan says actors need to stop complaining about their superhero movies. Do it or don't do it, and then stand by it. Look, I agree. She says, I don't know why people say yes to a project only to turn around and complain about it. Look, I don't want to shit on other actors, but there was a minute where it was cool to not like superhero movies and to look back on projects like this and poo-poo them. Do it or don't do it, and then stand by it. Yeah, I mean, the article goes on to say, like, Dakota Johnson kind of shit on Madam Web by saying it wasn't my fault. Quote, there's this thing that happens now where a lot of creative decisions are made by committee or made by people who don't have a creative bone in their body. Ironic. And it's really hard to make art that way. You thought that was art? Okay. Or to make something entertaining that way. And I think, unfortunately, with Madam Web, it started out as something and turned into something else. And I was just sort of along for the ride at that point. But this happens. Bigger budget movies fail all the time. Chris Hemsworth said to GQ after Thor: Love and Thunder flopped with critics and just said it was just too silly for its own good. He then told Variety last year, I got caught up in the improv and the wackiness, and I became a parody of myself. I didn't stick the landing. I don't equate that with what Dakota Johnson said as being equal. Like, he's arguing that he didn't stick the landing. Like, he's not arguing that the movie was fucked up. Though it is too silly and ridiculous. But, I mean, it feels like he's taking that on. So I don't know why they would decide to do that, to put that quote there. But what are your thoughts on this? Are people just, bitching and complaining, trying to cover their own ass?
I mean, people are bitching and complaining, and, nobody wants to be part of a flop. But at the same time, like, you kind of, like, yeah, I did it. And a lot of actors do things that they don't necessarily want to do or they don't have a passion for, right?
Right.
You don't necessarily have to shit on it, though, right? Like, you can just say, you can be like, yeah, it didn't really quite work out the way that I would have liked it to work out, but, it was an experience and I had a good time working with the people that did it. And if you like it, I'm glad you like it. Or you could just not say anything, right?
Yeah.
But
please don't think about this movie. I have another movie coming out this weekend.
Right.
Always book your next gig before your first one comes out.
Right. But you don't have to throw around excuses. And, Dakota Johnson's, what she's saying is, it comes off like she's throwing around excuses, but at the same time, she's probably right.
She's definitely right. I mean, that movie is an absolute mess because it clearly was done by committee. That being said, it's like when Sydney Sweeney was on Saturday Night Live, she was like, she said something to the effect of like, hey, I was Madam Web and like none of you saw it. And that's okay because like it wasn't great. Right? Like you gotta be a little like Halle Berry accepted her Razzie for Catwoman. Right. You gotta own it.
You gotta own that stuff sometimes. And
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, you're an actress, like or an actor. Like, you're not gonna nail it every time. You're not always gonna. Like, I feel like there are definite projects that people go into and they're like, we're gonna fucking nail this thing. And there are movie trailers that we watch and go, oh, this is gonna be good. And then you get in the theater and you're like, no, none of this is good. This is bad, and everyone should feel bad. And I feel like that's the same thing as an actor. Like, yeah, you don't want to have some bad shit on your resume. I understand that. But, like, you did sign up for this movie. Like, you did. Like, you saw who's writing it. You saw who's directing it. At least I hope you did. You read a script, and you'd be like, this is going to work. And then you go, not going to work. Because I feel like Madam Web, did anyone read the script? Like, did anyone really read the script? Or were you
done?
Right.
Was the script even done?
Right. It doesn't appear to be, right? Like, because I feel like there's also the aspect of you taking a project because you think it's going to be popular and it's going to make a lot of money, not because you actually believe in it. And I feel like you thought that maybe Madam Web was gonna make bank because it's tied to Spider-Man, and the Spider-Man movies make bank. And so you were like, all right, I'm doing it. And you didn't really read it. You didn't really know anything about the character, and you just went in and it was like, oh, this movie's a giant piece of shit. And then you're like, well, it's not my fault. Well, it is partially your fault because you did not have to sign up for that. Like Brosnahan is saying, like, own it. Just be like, hey man, it didn't work out. You know, we wanted it to be a fucking banger. It didn't work out. We had a good time doing it. But like, if you read that script, I would be hard pressed for someone to be like, no, this seems really good. Like this seems like this is gonna be good. Oh, a superhero movie where the superheroes only show up for a brief second in a flash forward memory type of shit, or like a premonition, and that's the whole thing. Have you seen any other comic book movies? Go to the theater and sit with comic book fans and just sit back. It's like, do they like this? No, they hate that thing. Okay, I'm not going to be in this movie.
And look, to be fair, right? Like, scripts can change, right? Like, the script is not set in stone. The writer is not the end all be all, right? Like, it's not like television, right? Where the writer and the showrunner have a little more authority. If the director that they hire is like, looks at that script while filming and is like,
I gotta change everything.
I don't like this guy's voice. We're gonna ADR his whole
shit.
Right. Then that's not on them. And I get it. But at the same time, like, you got paid for that work. You know what I mean?
You did.
Like, if you didn't get paid for that work, you got every right to bitch and complain. If you got paid for that crap, then
that's all on
don't complain too loud. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, you got to check for $10 million. Like, pipe down. All right. What
Thor's
the fuck?
a little egregious at this point because that's the fourth movie, and I guarantee you, like, he's a producer. So, 100%. Come on, bro. Like, what are we doing?
That's why. Look, that's why he's like, give me one more chance, yo. Like, please,
give me one more.
No, come on, like
we're gonna get back to Infinity Thor. That's what we're gonna do.
Like, I don't understand how. Again, I like Taika Waititi, but you got to read that script and be like, yo, there's a lot of goofball shit in this. Like, can we pull it back like 30%? The goats are yelling again. Like, fuck. Like, that joke works 2 times, man. Maybe, in the law of jokes, 3 times. And that's enough. That's enough. Like, knock it off. Yeah, you're like that. They cannot show up in anything else ever again. Don't do that. Oh, don't. And like, don't go the other way where you make it hyper serious and like Full Metal Jacket. I don't need that either. Like, Thor Ragnarok was a perfect mix of what that franchise needed to be. Perfect mix. Just stay there, man. Just stay there. All right. What the fuck? Brought to you by JTD from the Edit That Out podcast. Micah, take it away.
A girl, 9 years old, catches pet bug by keeping 122 cute tarantulas in her 2-bed house.
No. No. Kick the dog.
Ilsa Wheatley, who got her first spider at 6, said, "They're just too cute to resist. I want people to know spiders aren't harmful."
Yes, they are. What? Some are.
Her mother, Megan, 33, says, I don't have the heart to tell her to stop. A lot of people say, "How do you do it?" But I see how much passion she has for it. Why would I stop that? She sees something we don't. It's amazing how she speaks to them. Yes, I'm terrified of them escaping. We had a huntsman spider jump out of its enclosure last month, and I had a panic attack.
Okay, I don't know where these people are from. They're white as fuck. Like, they're white as fuck. Like, get out of here.
They
Of course.
very much are.
Australia? This is some Australian shit?
No, this is South Yorkshire, England.
All right, Britain was going to be my second choice. Now this is the worst type of like soft parenting. Oh, we're terrified of them, but we don't know how to. She's got real passion for it. Yeah, all right, cool, whatever. You can look at them on the internet. Get that shit out of my house. No.
Yeah, yo. Like, I'm not having a panic attack in my own house. Like,
no.
because a huntsman spider decides that it wants to find Snow White or whatever huntsman spiders do.
Have you ever seen one of those? They're like bigger than the palm of your hand, yo. They're like bigger than. Get the fuck out of here, yo. I'm like, listen, you're 9, and like every other 9-year-old who has spiders in their house and their parents don't want it, you have to go live in the woods alone. Goodbye. Go out there and survive on your own. Get the fuck out of my house, yo. No, absolutely not. It's either you or the spiders, yo. Like, that's it. Like,
yeah.
Hopefully y'all can go. Yeah. Or the spiders can go. You figure it out.
Look, my family knows I don't like animals, and they're like, and my wife is like, "Oh, we should get a pet. We should get a pet." No, we shouldn't, because I'm going to have to take care of it. And if I got to take care of it, we're going to have a dead pet in the house. Because I don't, no, we're not doing it. And
I feel like you're a classic example, not that it would ever happen, but you're the classic example of a dad who's like, I don't want any fucking dogs in the house. And then like your kids get a dog and you're like, me and this dog are partners for life. Like you end up like loving that because that's what happens. That's what happens. It's like
maybe like if the dog don't smell, if the dog doesn't smell, right? And if it can hold a conversation like Brian Griffin, then yeah, I'll be cool with a dog.
Right, well, that's
but if not,
minimum requirements. I don't think that's that bad. I need this dog to speak English. Like, all right, well, this dog is fucked. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. This little kid likes spiders, man, and that's fine. You can like spiders. My son likes fire. I'm not letting him set anything ablaze. Like, but it's how do you have the heart to tell him? He loves it. Pyromania. He loves it though. Like, what the fuck, man? Beat your kids, yo. Just beat your kids. I don't beat my daughter, but if my daughter was like, I'm bringing ghosts and goblins and lizards and spiders and all that, I'd be like, no. She's like, I am. I'm like, all right, cool. Oh, this is what we call a beating. You're going to get one. Get out of here, man. Absolutely not. All right, my story is insane. Man suffers heavy metal poisoning after using the same thermos for 10 years. A man died of suspected lead poisoning after using the same rusty thermos for over 10 years, despite visible signs of metal degradation. This was recently reported that he had severe lung infection that was exasperated. Thank you. Yeah, there's no P in that word. Christ. I have lead poisoning. By heavy metal poisoning. The man reportedly started experiencing health problems about a year ago, and blood tests showed that he was suffering from heavy metal poisoning. While trying to discover the source of the contamination, doctors learned that the man had been using the same thermos on a daily basis for the last 10 years. Upon examining the container, they discovered rust had formed inside of it, which hadn't prevented the patient from using it to store acidic beverages like coffee, tea, and juice. Unfortunately, despite seeing the rust and knowing that the thermos container was obviously not made from rust-proof material, the patient continued using it
relying only on simple rinsing to clean it. It's not clear when the thermos started leaking heavy metals into the drinks, but by the time the patient showed up at the hospital, it was already too late. The poisoning affected his immune system, and despite doctors' best efforts, he succumbed to being stupid as fuck and pneumonia less than a year after his initial diagnosis. Don't drink out of things that are rusted. What? I can't say this enough. Put your garbage in a garbage can. Like, what kind of lesson is this? It was
a bunch of somewhere where there's a bunch of rusty metal. I want to say like Russia, bro. Like I want to. When I think rusty metal and things that are not clean, I think Russia.
That's fair. I think that's fair. It's Taiwan.
Oh, what are you doing?
Yeah, well, if you just let the Chinese take over, surely they would fix us. Kidding. I'm kidding. Taiwan is an actual country.
For now.
We'll see. Leave those people alone, for the love of God. We're now banned in China for some reason. Yeah, this is insane. This is insane. Bro, you are the cheapest dude on earth. And now you're dead. I would say I feel sorry for you, but you saw that it was rusted. You saw it was rusted. This is crazy, right?
It just, I don't even know what to say to this.
This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard, yo. Like this is really
a dumb way to die, yo. This is remember that show 1,000 Ways to Die? This needs to be on like the dumbest ways to die.
Yeah, no, this is top of the heap of like stupid shit. Oh, I didn't know I couldn't do that. Really? You weren't aware? Yeah. Health experts advising people to make sure they opt for a thermos made of 304 stainless steel, avoid using it to carry acidic beverages, and make sure to clean it regularly. Also, changing the thermos after 2 or 3 years of constant use is recommended. You know what? That's a pretty good idea. I've got some travel coffee mugs that I hate.
It's a good idea to clean your dishes. That's a good idea.
No, I mean to change them out. I mean to get rid of them.
But at the same time, like, oh, we recommend that you clean your dishes. Like, what the fuck? Like, yeah.
Why do you have to recommend this? This
exactly
obvious.
Why do you have to tell people to wash their legs?
Well, the soap just runs down. I mean, everyone knows. That's how cleaning yourself works, you fucking monster. Jesus Christ. Yeah, don't drink out of things that have rust in them. That's, I don't know. Yeah, feels obvious, but alas, it isn't. Trailers this week. 40 Acres. This is a pretty interesting trailer. This is about, hold on, I had the Wikipedia up because I wanted.
It is a Canadian post-apocalyptic thriller written by R.T. Thorne in his feature debut. It is starring Danielle Deadwyler as a matriarch of descendants of African-American farmers who settled in 1875 in rural Canada after the First Civil War. 200 years later, they are trying to survive in a decimated future. Okay.
Did you read the name of the media company it's being released in under the next sentence in that? I don't like that.
Did.
Yeah,
I don't
released
like
by Mongrel. Mongrel Media. All right. Yeah, all right. Who runs that shit?
Hussein Amarshi. That
right.
doesn't.
I'll just replace my skepticism with I don't like it. So yeah, this looks pretty good. I mean, this looks fun. I think Danielle Deadwyler is a pretty good actress. I like her. I've been kind of waiting for her to get a bigger run at stuff. So maybe this is a good break for her. This looks violent and it looks like it's got some undertones. You know, I'm guessing the title is not by happenstance. So
yeah, I mean, we'll see. I also think she's a good actor, but she hasn't really been. It hasn't really been kicking for her. Last movie she was in was The Woman in the Yard, and from my understanding, that is not a good movie. But to be fair, I haven't watched it, so
Right.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know. I feel like she needs a new agent because she's actually very good. She was in I Saw the TV Glow, which is good. She's in this movie called Parallel, which I was thinking about doing for Black on Black Cinema.
Yeah. I wanted to see that. I hadn't heard if that was any good or not.
I want to see it. I don't have good feelings for it, but there's not a lot of black sci-fi out there, so I figured maybe we check it out. I know I said black. I hope I didn't offend Chase Adams 5085 or whatever the fuck his name is.
We're woke, bro. We're super woke.
Go to hell if I did offend you.
Your mother's a whore. I'm just saying mean things. So who cares?
Look, I'm probably not going to watch this if I'm being perfectly honest.
This is a laundry folding movie for me. If this comes on streaming, I'm not going to.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like something that I would be into. But hey, man, if a lot of people say it's good, then I'll probably believe them. All
right, well, there you go. I'll have to hear from them. Here's what I do know. It is June 19th, and in 8 days, F1 comes out, and I'm super fucking excited about that shit. So that's where I will be spending my mental time. So we already we're going somewhere, and we're like, hey, we got to make time to watch this movie. So we'll be checking that out. Yeah, and just a side note, and really the reason you should super, super care about F1 is when asked about whether or not he's been approached by Marvel about taking on the role of Black Panther, Desmond Idris his response was, yes, no, you never know, guys. I don't know. It's like, okay, so good. If it works out, it's a solid fucking choice. And some people were like, they need to just make a T'Challa from a different universe. I'm like, they already set up the story. Like, do you guys watch any of these movies?
Yeah, I don't even worry about.
It's like about people. They're setting it up. Like, why would you want a different? Wouldn't you want a continuation from the people that you already know and that story? Like, you're literally now mad about a thing that doesn't need to be. Okay, all right. I hate all of you. You're being stupid. So that is it for us. Slightly shorter show this week, but we will be back next week. Hopefully I'll have a chance to see 28 years later. That's what I'm trying to see before we record again. So later, guys. We'll see you.
See you.